Hello and good morning. So in this one I want to talk to my fellow science nerds and people like me who have been a little bit disappointed to find some of these public scientific thinkers in the Epstein files or in association with Epstein. From Noam Chomsky, Lawrence Krauss. I just saw this thing on Stephen Hawking. A friend sent me like, hey, did you hear Stephen Hawking was in there? I was like, really? And then yesterday I was driving and I was like, what if Steven Pinker's in there? And I looked it up and it's like, well, he is a little bit. So anyway, last night I was like, I can't take it anymore. I am doing I want somebody to release a video on all of these people that I have read their books and I want to find out about if their names are cleared or if they're not. Do I need to cancel these people in my mind? Right? And it's a funny thing too, because imagine Stephen Hawking, if it were shown that he really was, kind of a dirtbag in this way. It wouldn't make his physics less true. It wouldn't make Hawking radiation. It wouldn't change its existence. Although it could change the name of it if we decided to. Be like, all right, you're out of the history book. But is that really fair either? I think it could be fair. You do a service for humanity, but then you also do a crime against humanity. And so we just, level the playing field. But anyway, or with Steven Pinker, his arguments on on progress, how the world is better today than it used to be. It wouldn't invalidate those, but it would invalidate him as a person. So anyway, last night I said, screw it, I'm going through the Epstein files. You can go just yourself and go search through them on the government website, and it's actually quite easy. So I kind of recommend it. It kind of feels like you're a little journalist out there just doing independent research, and it's quite fun. So first off, let's start with Stephen Hawking. So yes, he was on the Epstein Island in 2006. Not great. I mean, I can't say how much information was out there at that time. That is not something that I got into. Could you have known at that time that Epstein and the whole island experience might be not good? I don't really know. And also it's Hawking. I know it's hard for him to well, now especially. But I know it would have been hard to really do much research if you're not able to just oh, let's just Google this really quickly, right? So I don't know. For now, I'm gonna give him a pass because Epstein wasn't convicted until 2008, and so it wasn't really public knowledge. And you probably, maybe there would have been other things that you could have found out about it at that time, especially with more connections. But for Hawking, it could have been hard. So in this case, in this way, I'm going to say, not that he was exemplary as an ethical person, but you gotta at least not be flat out evil, right? So I'll give him a pass for now. Steven Pinker. He had also a similar thing back in the day, back before it had come out. I think there was some association. I don't know, 2008 or at some point, Steven Pinker's lawyer had advised Epstein or his lawyer on how basically they could redefine trafficking or something, I don't know. Just like how it's like, oh, well, what you did wasn't technically what this word means. Or something like that. I don't know exactly how much Pinker's own involvement in that was, or anything like that. So, again, that's sketchy. Pinker has been like apologetic and says that he deeply regrets it. So unlike some people who are standing by what they have said, I guess that's good. I will say though, I did find that in 2015, Pinker did thank Epstein. I think saying thanks to somebody like that is probably not good, but we'll get into that in a minute. I guess let's just get into it now. So this is the main thing that I learned, is that Epstein and his network are vultures. They are hyenas that monitor the whole goings on of the world and all of the popular figures. And anytime somebody needs something, anytime they can get their foot in the door, there's Epstein. Just like, what can I do for you today? And so that's the reason you're gonna see just like so many people that have like a small like tie. Is just like the Epstein network was, just a vulture, just an insane, like how they coordinate and just send emails back and forth, and they're like talking about people like that aren't even in the chat. They're just talking about like how could we get this person on the island? What could we do? How could we fund this research? How could we get our foot in the door? It's very insane. It's very mastermind of evil going on over there. And so I guess that does help a little bit to be like, it's not like these people were just like casually roped in, or like even in some cases where it's like they know, like, well, like we could be like, well, why would you associate yourself with Epstein? It's like, well, if it's a connection of Epstein or a connection of a connection, then it's like you may not know at the outset that you are in fact dealing with the Epstein network, right? So I don't know. It's still not great, but it is more justification, or it is more of an explanation on how a lot of people could get roped in and maybe not be like that guilty, I guess, of doing really anything other than maybe minding their own business and not like double checking everything. So make up your own mind how you want to talk about that. But as an example of this, this is where the Steven Pinker came in. In 2015, you start seeing whispers through the Epstein network, like, hey, Pinker's trying to write a piece on something in this magazine, and he wants to interview Stephen Hawking. Can we get Stephen Hawking's contact information? And so they're all like, how do we get his contact information? And then they reach out to good old Lawrence Krauss. Come on, Lawrence. And so they're like, hey, Krauss, do you have Stephen Hawking's contact information? Do you have his email? And Krauss is like, well, I don't usually send emails over to people, not even to friends. But I guess because Hawking flew on Epstein's plane once, I guess it would be okay. That's my best impression at the moment, sorry. So yeah, he hands over Hawking's email, and then that goes back to the network and comes out to Steven Pinker, who thanks Leslie, whoever that is, and he's like, oh, and thank Epstein, or thank Jeffrey for me. So like that's where he thanked Jeffrey, and it's just like, why you gotta do this, man? But also, it's just crazy And I did want to say also, like, I found out it was Leslie because, like, mostly it was redacted. But I see, like, if you've seen this at all on any of the other coverage of this, like, the redactions that are going on are just so bad because each reply in an email chain is its own file, right? So when they go to redact it, they got to like go through the same file over and over and over again and redact the same things over and over and over again. So like you feel like a detective when you're in there and you're like, wait, who was this sent from? Who was this? And all you do is just click on every occurrence or every different file of the same email chain until you find one where they missed it. And you're like, there, you didn't redact this name here. Now I can see it. Amazing, right? So it's kind of fun. If it wasn't like this is our justice system. Anyway, so Lawrence Krauss is out for me. Just, I can't believe that, like, he's still just into it, like, that much. So yeah, I'm sorry, but you are out of the, I don't know, you are canceled. I'm canceling you. Richard Dawkins had stood up for Lawrence Krauss, who was standing up for Epstein. So, I mean, come on, Dawkins. I mean, he's also been, like, Lawrence Krauss and Richard Dawkins are like two people where you're just like, if you weren't atheists, I would not like the way that you argue. Like, I don't like your attitudes. But, like, I put up with it because, like, well, at least you're on my side. Anyway, so, let's see. Got those guys. I found Lisa Randall in there, in the Epstein files, talking back and forth, having, like, a trip itinerary kind of planned out on, like, when to get on a boat, like a helicopter or something. And I don't know. That was 2012, I believe. Why was she doing that at that time? At one point, Epstein was like, oh, you could come and have fun or something. And then she was like, what does fun entail for you? It's like, I don't know, maybe she's just doesn't watch the news or just doesn't know who she's dealing with at that point. But, like, come on, it's 2012. I don't understand why I mean, it's not like she was being, like, friendly, but, like, there's a handful of emails, and you kind of just are like, where are the people that found out about this and are just like, hey, Epstein, eat shit? Like, that's what I wanted to see. Like, come on. I would like to think that I would do something like that if I found out that one of my friends was, like, evil. Like, at least to do something, but to just, like, continue on like everything is normal, and you're just like, I don't know, I just can't imagine that. But what do I know? I saw Marie Gell-Mann, the co-inventor of, well, the theory of quarks. He was, I mean, they've tried really hard to get him, I guess, and they did get him to go to the ranch, whatever that is. Apparently they got him to go to the ranch. So, and I think that was, yeah, after 2008. So not great, but honestly, there weren't, like, as many, like, I searched for a lot of names in there. Like Max Tegmark, he was mentioned by Deepak Chopra, like, oh, he's interesting, but he's not very smart, or something like that. And it's like, coming from you, you're one to judge. But anyway, like, he seemed fairly cleared. And I don't know, I was just kind of going through this. I opened up like all my book reviews. I'm like, all right, so here's all these nice science books on science that I have read over the years that I've really enjoyed. Now let's go find out how many of these authors that I need to hate. But yeah, really not a ton. I mean, there were some like, yeah, minor associations and things going on in there that I didn't really like, but also I'm like, that's, I think it's just like with everything that's going on right now, and it's like there's like no justice. Maybe part of me or part of us feels like some of these people that, you know, like they should know better. They should be out there saying, eat shit. Like, we want somebody to say that. We want somebody to do that. But like if it's just like, yeah, a very minor, like email, I mean, it's not like you did any of this stuff yourself, but it does feel like, come on. So I'm not gonna cancel you, Mr. Steven Pinker. Not yet. I'm waiting for the rest of those Epstein files to drop though. You can count on it. But Lawrence Krauss, he's for sure out. And I think that was, oh yeah, and Noam Chomsky. Come on, man. Come on, Noam. I hope he gets out of his coma or whatever he's in right now. He's extra ill. But before, he had defended his association with Epstein and been like, I don't know, his like whole thing was like, he was talking to Epstein like, man, the public sphere is a dangerous place, man. Like, somebody just like mentions Me Too and now it just blows up and you get canceled, and it's just like, you just gotta be careful around that. That stuff's kryptonite right now to a reputation. And it's like, I mean, hey, like, sure, there's false accusations, I guess, sometimes, but like, he was convicted. This wasn't like just some random, like, I don't know. What are you saying exactly, Mr. Chomsky? Like, are you saying all the stuff that he did is just fine? Like, I don't know. It just seems kind of ridiculous that you would still stand by him. So yeah, Chomsky, like, you are out. I mean, even if you wake up and are just like, oh, like, well, what? Now that the foot dropped, now that we have access to these emails, now you're gonna be like, apologize? I mean, actually, I kind of hope that he wouldn't apologize. I hope he would just explain himself, because I would be curious to learn what the arguments and reasoning is. Like, how are you gonna justify this behavior? Like, are you gonna say like, oh, it wasn't Epstein's fault, it was the, you know, the victims here, or like just the society as a whole, and like we can't just like demonize one person for this? Like, what exactly is your argument gonna be? I'd be kind of curious. So hopefully he can make that. Anyway, I think that's it. I mean, like, I should have written down a list of people that I cleared, at least for my own satisfaction. I mean, like Leonard Susskind seemed clear to me, so that was nice. He seems like a pretty cool guy. Gerard Tuft, however you say his name, sorry. Like that guy too. He seemed cleared. Marvin Minsky seemed cleared, I think. Roger Penrose, cleared. David Deutsch, cleared. Like, yeah, I guess I'll just say, like, it's easier to say the ones that aren't cleared than it is to say the ones that aren't. So one of my friends was just like, I feel like I can't, like, trust or like anybody now after finding out all of these people are in the Epstein files. It's just like, what? Like, how can you, yeah. Like, they could have been doing all this stuff behind the scenes, but like, I mean, I don't know. I guess it was encouraging to actually go in there last night and go through all these names and kind of clear them, I guess, and be like, okay, it's not everybody. It's mostly just Lawrence Krauss. Which, okay, fair enough. We can get rid of Krauss and whoever else you want to get rid of. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna call this one. So if I think of anybody else to search, or if you guys want me to search for anybody, or if you search for anybody and want me to just talk about it, then I will. But I guess it's not as bad as maybe it first feels, because if all you see in the news is just like this person and this person and this person, then you're gonna be like, that's everybody. But if you actually like go through and look for people, then you can be like, well, actually, no, it's not everybody. So that was kind of the purpose of this video, to be like, yes, there are, unfortunately, more people than you would want whose books you have read within the Epstein files. But there's also a lot of people who aren't. Anyway, talk to you later.